Hello everybody, what's up, how are you doing? Today I'm going to be responding to Tectone's drama with the Genshin community. This is strictly a response to Tectone's drama with the Genshin community video. We're not going to cover anything outside of that, and even more specifically, it's just going to be the first 5 minutes of it, where he discusses guide makers because, well, I'm kind of a guide maker. Before we start though, now I'm ready. I would appreciate it if you would send this to Techie, because what I actually want is a conversation with him so that he can understand the other side of the argument as well. And lastly, I'm going to be having my first ever charity livestream tomorrow, as you can see, at 4 PM EST to help stop AAPI hate. So if you could drop onto my Twitch channel, that would mean the world to me. So to get a couple disclaimers out of the way, I'm an avid Techie viewer. Not just Genshin Techie, I sat through and spammed no help on his FNAF streams too. This is not a drama takedown for content's sake, although, you know, I love me some exposure. Thank you, Techie. I'm making this video hopefully to provide Techie with a bit of what it feels like to be on the other side of the equation, almost. Secondly, I've been making content since 2017, content in quotation marks, because most of that is privated or plain out erased. Early on being mostly streams of me playing COD Zombies and Minecraft multiplayer videos, and then 2017 I started doing my Twitch streams, and then in 2020 I somewhat seriously started doing YouTube. So I'm not speaking from a place of naivety of, you know, oh, my content's not blowing up, blah, 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 you know what I mean? I also would have given up a long time ago if my goal was just to make money and grow big, and not because I love to make content, which my 60-second guides are a big part of, and I'm very proud of them. I personally dislike leaks for everything except future characters, because as someone who plays Welkin and Battle Pass only, premos are very valuable. I want to know which characters I want to save up for. If miHoYo would give more information ahead of time, like recently you did with Yoimiya, Ayaka, and Sayu, then leaks would not be necessary. So first, the useless guide problem on day of release argument. Techie said that because the guides come out on the day of release, or maybe even the day before using leaked information, they are useless and they will most likely be discontinued. Which I fundamentally disagree that making a guide day of release or with leaked info is useless if you put disclaimers that this is very fresh info. The theory crafted from the information we know and the build leakers have are no less important than the final perfect consensus that the community gets to, because those theory crafted builds eventually evolve and change into the eventual perfect builds for the community. Also, if you just talk about Ascension and talent material stuff, there's literally no reason why that couldn't be released as a guide before the character comes out. Obviously, within reasonable time, obviously, the Ascension materials for characters way down the line could change, and it would be very irresponsible to do so. And lastly, I could argue, considering my TikTok and YouTube analytics for my guides, that people come back to watch my other content that is not made on the day of release and all of that. And interact with other people in the comments and in the community because of the hype generated by the new character and them watching and preparing for the character because of my guides. I'm not claiming this is all me and that I'm the savior of the community interaction or anything, but that within my very small viewer base on TikTok, which is the largest that I have, which is 2,700 followers, that is what I've seen happen. And then for the second argument, Techie, I appreciate that you know you're in a more of a privileged position in the community, and that you said you're willing to shout out small creators, but that doesn't change the fact that said small creators like myself still have to do these videos on release or use leaked info in order to compete. Other larger guide creators that do this too will guaranteed get those views and drown out our content regardless of quality, like how you mentioned the notepad reading guides and that sort of stuff. If you want to see what I would consider quality, the little icon on the top right will take you to see some of my guides, and you can see I put a lot of effort into them, and I'm quite honestly quite proud of them and my format that I have. Most big Genshin content creators don't even scratch the size of creators from other games, meaning that in order for new content creators to surface, there's always already a pretty low ceiling in terms of how big you can get potentially, and a very high floor in terms of being able to succeed as a creator in the community, because you would have to compete with people that have already been established and been doing this for a long time, and they released stuff ahead of time because they have special contacts with leakers and all of that stuff. And then finally, Techie, you also mentioned how you were disappointed and sad at the state of the quality of the content in the community, and for a good chunk of creators I can agree. to be honest. On certain aspects of their content, it's kind of bad and it could be better. However, new higher quality content will never be able to compete and catch up to the already established low quality content if the new higher quality content doesn't play on the same level playing field. Hopefully that made any sense. That's a very long sentence now that I read it from my notes. It would be like if you're fighting someone in a boxing match and like where your opponent not only has like gold bars inside their gloves, like they just have an enormous amount of advantage over you, but you also decided to handicap yourself and fight on your knees. There's no way good high quality content will be able to compete with the pre-established content, even if you shut it out, Techie, constantly. Because by releasing guides later than other creators, I, for example, and all other small creators, will always be late to the party, which means that even people who would watch me on the regular would most likely not click on a video guide if they already seen 3 other guides from other content creators. Which is why Xlice, like you mentioned, has 50,000 subscribers, even though their guides are incredible and full of info, and Gacha Gamer has 250,000 subscribers, even though their guides literally come out on the day that the character releases. This is not a dig at Gacha Gamer, get your head out of the gutter. This is literally just an example of timing playing a huge role on how content is watched, regardless of what would most likely be a more useful and insightful guide. So, what is the solution? To be honest, there isn't a realistic or easy one, even though I've kind of been trashing on like Tectone's ideas and all of that. To be honest, there isn't an easy solution that I could give. The only things that come to mind are the 3 different ideas I'm about to present. A, all guide content creators decide not to release guides until a couple days after in order for the quality of the guides to all improve, which is not going to happen because, you know, someone's going to make a guide earlier than the other ones and etc., you know. People like to be opportunistic, you know, that type of stuff. It won't happen. It's not feasible. B, more huge creators aside from Techie, especially big guide creators like Gacha Gamer, continuously shout out other content in the community, other smaller guide creators in the community, in order to, you know, slowly lift up the rest. But for especially those big guide creators, it doesn't make any sense because, you know, you want to promote your own content, not someone else's content. And although, like, yes, promoting someone else's content would be for the benefit of the entire community, it would potentially be at a detriment of yourself, considering you're sending people to another content creator's channel, which is potentially negative, which I don't think is true, because growing everyone together as a community, growing the community as a whole makes more sense. But I can see why people would think that sending people over to other guide content creators would be at a detriment of their own. And C, MiHoYo releases all of the leaked info as official info. You know, the values, the percentages, the skills, the bursts, everything that the leakers send out that, you know, Techie doesn't like and a lot of people don't like about the characters getting leaked, that help guide creators make guides as fast as possible. All of that stuff needs to be officially released by MiHoYo. All of the, you know, how the interactions work together, etc., all of that needs to be official and go further than just announcing that Yoimiya and Sayu are coming down the line, like how they just did. It needs to go further. It needs to talk about, you know, this skill does this, and the burst does this, and this is the substat of the character for the ascension, level ups, and like all of that stuff. They have to be a lot more transparent, and that is completely up to MiHoYo, and they haven't done it so far. There is light at the end of the tunnel because they've teased Yoimiya and Sayu, which we knew nothing about because of Inazuma's coming. So there is a chance, but we never know. So yeah, hopefully Techie, if you're watching, thank you for sticking by. I appreciate you. You understand a little bit more of the other side of the equation from a small creator standpoint on why making guides on the day of release is important for smaller content creators. But thank you everybody for watching, regardless of if you're techie or not. I'm gonna be once again streaming tomorrow, Thursday at 4 p.m. EST. Stop AAPI hate right there, a little bit there. We're We're gonna be doing a charity live stream, and there's gonna be incentives, and you're gonna make me suffer while we play video games, and hopefully we can make some good in this world. But with that said, God bless, all the love, and I'll catch you tomorrow on the charity live stream. Bye bye.